Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney.
And Vindication.
Yeah, there's this article out there on Fromers, which I think is a travel website, right?
How dare they?
How dare they? 4 signs that Disney parks are in a lot more trouble than people think they are. Got to give a hat tip to S who sent this over. I don't know if they want their name revealed or not, but we missed this. But yeah, this is validation. They're saying a lot of things that we have been saying, that Disney parks are in a lot of trouble right now.
Yes, we've been saying these things. The things that they're saying now, that it's okay to say now, were the things that we took so much crap for. That we were like, mocked by other Disney sites and like they're just negative, and it was one of the reasons why we didn't get Disney media access back and things like that was because, well, they just keep saying this stuff that isn't true and it's mean and it's meanie pants and how dare they? And let me just say, fork you, fork you.
Fork, yes, fork and spoon.
I want to say the other one, but now I'm afraid to because I'm demonetized. But just sit and spin, stick it on up there.
The fudge. Stick the fudge in your posterior hole.
I'm just, whatever. I screw you because we said the same, we've been saying the same things, and not this site particularly, but other sites, other people talk so much shit about us, but we were right.
Yeah, so anyway, this is again coming from a pretty reputable travel site, so
were we.
We're not, apparently. We're just a bunch of salty YouTubers.
We were salty then, but now it turns out we're right.
Anyway, before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, over 284,000 subs. Yay! Thank you so much for the support. We do talk a lot about Disney, not as much as we used to, actually. But yeah, the parks are in serious decline. We've been saying this. It's been going on for years. It's not simply because of Bob Chapek.
No.
I
mean, he's a big part of it.
He was a big part of it.
Chapek for a reason, or Paycheck, whatever you talk to, for a reason. And I don't think he was a good choice for CEO. I don't think bringing Iger back was a good choice for CEO because Iger was behind a lot of the things that Chapek got blamed for.
Yeah, so they talk about this actually. This is very interesting. This it's a very wordy preamble to the rambling, but they basically said that it's not just Bob Chapek. They said that the factors that are flattening the formerly fizzy Disney vacation experience have origins that predate the ravages of COVID-19 closures or any one executive's personality. The warning signs of a coming decline have systemic origins, and those warning signs could affect the quality of a future vacation spent at Disney.
You could just watch our Disney videos or read our Disney blog and get the same thing that's been said here. Like over the past couple of years, it's the exact same things we've been saying.
So this is interesting juxtaposition. The ads that are running on this website, and sorry, I was going to do the ad blocker. It just doesn't work on this website, so put up with it. But they're all for Universal, and right next to it is a paragraph. There are no attractions of substance being built at Disney. Universal has an entirely new theme park coming. They have Mario coming.
Disney overspent so much on the stupid Fox acquisition. They don't have the damn money to build up a new addition. But Comcast ran the bid up and then pulled. I think they did it on purpose.
Yes.
And they have all kinds of money.
Yeah, so let's walk this back. People were like, why did they overspend on Fox? Originally, they were going to get Fox for, I think it was like $35 or $40 billion. Disney wound up paying $71 billion for Fox because Comcast bid, knowing Disney wouldn't let it go. But Comcast, I don't think ever wanted Fox.
We don't know that, but it just felt like shill bidding in a way.
Yeah, it was shill bidding. They basically ran the bid up, and Iger wasn't going to let it go. They knew it. They basically paid twice as much for Fox as they should have. And then Comcast turns around, because they own Universal. They turn around, they're like, hey, we're building another park. Not a fifth gate, but we're building another park.
They consider it their fourth.
Right.
Because they consider Volcano Bay a theme park. But it's funny to me because we don't know that's what happened. I mean, Comcast might have actually wanted. There's some reasons that they might have. But I just think it's funny because they ran it up and then nope, we don't want it now. Disney can have it. And it costs them probably twice as much money. Yeah. I also want to point out Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure is actually pretty fun. So.
As of this spring, there will be no major new attractions on the horizon at any of the Disney resorts. Well, that's not exactly true. I think Tron is finally...
No, they're being new that aren't already in production.
We
know they're getting Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in Disneyland, and we know we're getting Tron in Walt Disney World, and we're getting, whatever that stupid Moana walkthrough is, but that's not really a major attraction, which they bring up later. But as far as major attractions go, they hinted at some at D23, but if you remember, it was like... maybe, possibly, maybe we're going to do this, but we don't know yet. But we're going to show this to you anyway, even though we don't know if we're going to do this.
And I think that was very telling of the Chapek era. They're like, we would like to build this stuff. We'd like to give you more cool attractions. We'd like to maybe do a fifth gate at Disney. We'd like to maybe do something over on the other side of Thunder Mountain. We'd like to, but we don't know if we're going to be allowed to do it.
My money's on you'll get probably more re-themes than you'll get anything else in the near future.
Yeah, I think so. I think the most likely candidate, currently is probably Journey into Imagination. I could see them doing something with that.
Yeah. Now the reason we don't have the Little Mermaid one at Hollywood is because there's rumors that the building's full of mold.
Probably
because they have all the water features.
The water effects, yeah. Well, yeah, and for that, I mean, that's kind of redundant anyway because they have the mermaid.
Right. People thought they were going to retheme it into something else there, but I don't know because the mold's true. That could be a problem.
And it's not going to be a ride though. It's a theater, so they'll just put another something in. Anyway, they said, meanwhile, Disney's main competitor, Universal, is set for a February debut of a major park expansion, Super Nintendo World in Hollywood. In Orlando, Universal will finish construction on a cutting-edge new theme park and a whole new park, Epic Universe, in 2 years. And the last time Disney effed up, since they keep showing ads for it, they got Wizarding World, which definitely cut into Disney's attendance.
Yeah, they went to Disney first.
They did go to Disney first. And Disney was arrogant. They didn't want to play ball with J.K. Rowling and what she wanted. And then they wound up going with Universal, and she got everything she wanted. And Universal got their attendance skyrocketed.
They got everything they wanted.
They stole a bunch of Disney Imagineers. And,
well, to be fair, Disney kind of let them go first.
They keep doing this. Well, they let a bunch of people go. They let a bunch of their veteran Imagineers go, and I'm wondering if you won't see like Joe Rohde or something show up at Universal one of these days.
Right now, he was working for Virgin or something.
Yeah, that's kind of he likes theme parks. I could see him going back over there. Anyway, so they mentioned Mickey and Minnie coming to Disneyland, which has already been out for a couple of years in Disney World, and Tron, which is, I mean, it's cool, but it's an old ride. I mean, it came out in 2015.
Both rides already exist. Both rides already exist other places, and they're just repurposed attractions. Same with like when they just opened Ratatouille at Epcot. It was a clone of the one in Paris.
But look at like how fast they were building attractions for the longest time. They did California Adventure in 2001, Mission Space 2003, Soarin'. Every year, every other year, they had something major. They had major expansions.
Well, they've been lately. They were until recently. Yeah. Until COVID, they were doing a whole bunch, and they had a whole bunch of things announced that all of a sudden got canceled. Like the one hotel they were going to do where River Country used to be got canceled. They had all the stuff they were going to do at Epcot, and a lot of it got repurposed or canceled.
So this is something too I never fully understood with Disney, and I've had people try to explain it to me. People have worked in around Disney, and they said that basically Disney has a hard time finding contractors.
I wonder why.
But it took them 5 years to open Guardians of the Galaxy. It took them 6 years to open Tron.
Now, to be fair, there was the COVID was in there too.
Yeah, but even before that, look at how long it took.
I was thinking Snow White, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Fantasyland took forever. Meanwhile, Universal is going to have a whole new park in 2 years. They're building rides like crazy. Like they're like, hey, we're going to do a Jurassic World coaster. Cool. When's that going to come out? Like 4 or 5 years? Oh, like next spring. It's going to be open.
Yeah, it takes an awful long time at Disney, and part of it I think is because Disney's ridiculous, and part of it is people that work for them. But I know that there's been lawsuits in the past, because I've covered them, where they weren't paying their contractors sometimes, which could be partly why they might not have people work for them.
That is, I've heard too, and it could just be them, juggling the books, trying to defer, projects as long as they can. Like
Disney would never.
Like we're gonna roll out this new coaster or this new land or whatever, but it might take a few years. Well, Avatar, how long did it take to do freaking Pandora? It was like 5 or 6 years. By the time it opened, at that point, most people had forgotten about the movie. The
only reason that people cared, you remembered, is they went to Pandora at Disney.
Yeah, right. So they said even if they sink shovels into the ground for a big new ride tomorrow, at the current productivity pace, it would take at least 2028.
I agree.
For something new at the current pace. I mean, they would have to sink major money, which I don't think they have at this point, into up in their game. And the thing is Universal is going to lap them.
Which we've mentioned this many times. The next point they make is that they keep using their platforms like ABC and Disney Plus to promote the hell out of all their upcoming things and their new things like the Disney Wish or Tron. Good Morning America had, here's a behind the scenes at Moana's new walk through water thing. Yeah. Here's the Tron coaster. They've been doing this for a while. It's kind of a running joke. We've commented on it multiple times in videos. I've done articles on it before. Yep. So once again, things we've mentioned.
They bring up pretty much everything we've said. They said that they're going to get puffery puffery about the word you use often, actually.
Yeah.
About inexpensive band-aids like temporary decorations on the castle, new costumes for Mickey, the Moana theme walkthrough.
They have a big 100th anniversary, right, coming up, and a lot of it is just repurposed. For the 100th anniversary, we're bringing back things we already had before. Yay!
Why is Disney grown so stagnant? Blame a recent corporate shopping spree. Disney became bloated with the debt from buying Fox.
I wonder who's mentioned that many times.
Plus, Disney Plus has taken a lot of their money.
It's almost like we effing know what we're talking about. It's like we've effing been doing this for years.
Yeah, Iger's not going to be able to, and Iger made that decision. Iger pulled the trigger on Fox, which was way overpriced. And that was, again, I think it was shill bidding from Comcast.
And back then, too, you have to remember Disney stock was at like an all-time high, and they had all kinds of money.
Marvel movies were doing good.
And it was before COVID. And I'm not saying COVID was the main cause, because I think there was issues before that. But, I think basically all the plans they had, it all came due at some point. And then that's leading into this. And then when they kept, under Iger even, gouging the customer, raising the prices. I know that annual pass holders saw like a 25%, 30% increase the 1 year in their cost. It just keeps going up and up and up. And then they started charging things like parking and things that were free. And people were just getting tired of it. They feel more like a piggy bank and less like a valued customer.
Yeah, and it used to be. I mean, for the longest time, Disney sold you on the fact you're part of the family.
The Disney difference.
The Disney difference. You're part of the family. The employees, they're family, they're cast members.
Until we need to throw them overboard.
Until we have to toss them overboard.
The Disney difference now is, getting less for more money.
Well, they talked about that. They said WDW has gone.
At least you won't be fat.
WDW News Today has gone back to shaming Disney for the poor condition of rides.
WDW News Today gets a lot of shit. Now, sometimes I think that they do deserve some shit, but most of the time, and I'm going to say the majority of the time, they're usually right.
Hey, they're not nearly as bad as Inside the Magic. No. Inside the Magic is clickbait central now.
They get so much crap, and they usually turn out to be right.
Yeah. So they talked about small world boats being grimy now.
There's a picture at the top. They were really bad, guys. So they like, look. Now, after this came up, now they had a running list of things that they noticed were broken, and then they would put this up publicly, and the stuff would get repaired often because they mentioned it. So now the boats are cleaned. Just the other day, people were like, oh, look, the small world boats suddenly are clean. That
happened with Splash Mountain, too. Some of the animatronics were broken.
Yes, and they put things up about it.
And they do it to kind of like show Disney that people are paying attention. But the problem is that, I think they had a reprieve on that during the pandemic because they knew Disney was understaffed. So they're like, we can't maintain things as well as we used to. But now it's just, again, a lot of things that were instituted during the pandemic have become the new normal because it wound up being financially advantageous to them.
Even though there is talk that they're going to walk back the park pass reservations, which I think they need to.
Yeah. 2 of Walt Disney World's 4 theme parks have not brought back their parking trams.
They're supposed to be back by the end of the year, and they aren't.
Yeah, they're not. Job cuts and upcoming hiring freezes are widely reported. Food portion sizes continue to be reduced despite price hikes, and some long-running entertainment has not been reinstated after the pandemic.
They did bring a lot back, but there's a lot that hasn't been.
Yeah, Wall Street Journal says that ride stoppages and wait times are on the rise in Disney parks, probably because they're not maintaining the attractions like they used to.
The lines right now are insane. But to be fair, the reason you're seeing pictures of incredibly long lines right now in January is because it's Run Disney full marathon weekend. They do only once a year with a full marathon, so it's insanely busy.
They said that Disney objected, obviously, but they said the Journal's discovery matches my own observations, said the writer. They said in Disneyland on October 12th, 6 of the most popular rides at Disneyland were inoperable for all or part of the day, and key features on the newest marquee attraction were broken, probably Rise of the Resistance.
I also know that the Genie Plus was hitting like $30 a day at Walt Disney World, but people said that the lines were so long that it was like some of the top attractions had, when you added it up, it was like a whole day worth of wait time and just like a few attractions.
Disney and its growing cynicism figured out a way to convert rising customer dissatisfaction into a new profit center. That would be Genie Plus, which has been a huge issue. I actually saw articles out there that people were canceling their Disney trips, not necessarily because of the expense, but because of how confusing it is to just go to a Disney park right now.
It is. I mean, you don't have to do Genie Plus. You don't have to. I think it depends when you go. We went, it was only $15 a day, and we used it. And if you know what you're doing, then I think it actually benefited you. But if you're like a newbie or you don't know what you're doing, or it's a really busy park day, I don't know if that's even going to help you.
Yeah. It says they're selling out by lunchtime. They said that the ship is sinking. They said that the parks have been through tough economic times before in the 70s. And then I know after 9/11, there was a slowdown. But this is pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, this is pretty bad. We expected COVID to do damage, but it's not just COVID. And, look at Universal. They're fine. They're building. They're expanding. They're coming back roaring. But Disney's like, nope, we're going to just slow down, slow it down. They said people were complaining about the untheming of the resorts.
Yes, true.
So this I'm not too familiar with. They do talk about a lot of their creatives getting fired or fleeing, which we talked about before, the Imagineers. But you've said that people are complaining that a lot of the new stuff they're opening is not themed.
Right. Like they opened the new Carousel coffee shop on the boardwalk. And you're thinking Carousel coffee shop, it's going to have like carousel horses or be boardwalk themed or something. No, it looks like a generic airport coffee shop. There's like a counter and like a little refrigerator where you can get like sandwiches and things or whatever. I guess they're like Danishes and stuff. And then they have seating that's very generic. It's it could be any place. It wouldn't be a Disney thing. It's not what you expect from Disney. They bring up the Polynesian, the new Polynesian Village Resort. It's like they said, it's like a cookie cutter chain hotel tower. And that is true. It looks very generic. Now, over at the Contemporary, they did a couple years ago do it as an Incredibles theming. And you can see some of that, but it's very minimalist. But I think that also goes with the era. When the Incredibles were out, it was very minimalist anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can kind of argue that they did theme it and it fits. But a lot of the new stuff, it's very boring. It's not Disney-fied. But to be fair, though, usually when you go to the more expensive resort hotels, they don't seem to be as Disney-themed as some of the cheaper ones do. Like the Contemporary was always more contemporary. It had like some Mary Blair stuff in there, but it wasn't like super Disney-themed.
Well, it's kind of like the Disneyland Hotel. It is like retro Disney-themed, but it still looks like a fairly upscale hotel.
Yeah, but that one is still themed. Like a lot of the ones, like I know the Polynesian is like it's Polynesian themed, but it wasn't super Disney themed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it has theming, but they've been cutting back on that. Now a lot of it looks very generic, and I think it's probably because it's cheaper.
Well, I think and I think that a lot of the theming, because they're I guess Disneyland at the pier, Pixar Pier, they're going to redo it. But
yeah, they're doing that one
But I think it's the pricing. I think the hotels they think are going to be more family friendly, more economical, have more cartoony theming.
But then like over in Disneyland Paris, they have the Avengers, like the New York City hotel, and it's like super themed. So, I mean, I guess it depends where you go, but they've seriously been like cutting down on it, because when you're expecting a Carousel coffee shop, you're expecting on the boardwalk something really awesome and fits and is like boardwalk or carousel themed, and it's not. It's it could be at any airport or hospital anywhere.
So this is really interesting. A lot of Disney influencers now turning on Disney, saying things that we were saying years ago. And some of these people
made fun of us,
sent their audience after us. Not this one in particular, but definitely strongly disagreed with our hot takes.
Yeah, but this person disagreed with our hot takes. Never said anything about us, but he was completely opposite of us too until recently.
Yes, welcome to the party. Braden from Mickey Views.
That was Sir Braden.
Sir Braden from Mickey Views. But he said, am I right when I say that Disney's creatives have lost the plot? They said the gut theming from the resorts will reach a point when all that will make Disney is the name, a printed out character sticker on an otherwise industry standard modern room.
He's probably right, because I've seen the pictures of stuff lately, and he's not wrong.
So yeah, this is the reimagining the Incredibles room, which is
see, you can take the pillows off, and
looks like a Hilton.
It just looks like it looks like a 50s. It's minimalist, like 50s mid-century modern type. Like look, but other than that, you take the pillows off or a couple things in the drawers off, and it's just basically Hilton.
$988. $988 for that. So that's problem. Disney's putting families into debt, so they're talking about the price. They're talking about how people are actually taking out loans or maxing out credit cards to go to Disney. Why would you do that? It's not worth it.
We've done it before.
Yeah, but we paid it off pretty quick. But
still, so these people. But the thing is, like I said, most of them pay out 6 months. But it's like you get to the place where it's like a drug. There's a reason why we call the pixie dusters are huffing the pixie dust. You can't say anything negative because people jump down your throat. Now, we never got to the point where people couldn't say anything negative. But, we'd go all the time because, part of it was our job and part of it was because we wanted to, and not now.
Because back then, when we first started going, it was worth it.
It was also more affordable.
It was more affordable, and it was worth it to me to spend that time with the kids when they were young, to go do something we all
You
enjoy
weren't nickel
together.
and dimed on every little thing.
No.
It was easy to use.
I never felt ripped off. 10 years ago, I never felt ripped off at Disney. And now, I mean, again, I'm a lot more cynical, having gone a lot more over the last decade.
They used to offer a lot better deals. One thing we're going to mention, they used to offer a dining plan. People are like, where's it? A lot of times you get it for free. People are like, when's the Disney dining plan coming back? Everybody wants a Disney dining plan. Well, tomorrow, there's going to be a new Disney dining option dropped. It is not Disney dining plan. Basically, it's what they offered the UK, where you're going to get like a gift card. It's like a Disney, promo card. And what it is up to, depending on what hotels you stay in, you can earn up to so much a night is what you're given to use. I think it's up to $750. There are minimum requirements for stay and everything else. Like whatever they give you a day, like $100 a day or whatever. I mean, that would pay for maybe a family to go to a sit down, but I doubt it because most sit downs cost more than that. So it depends where you use it, how well it's going to go for you. But this says to me, Disney's desperate because the time frame that you can use this is going to be like summer.
Yeah, that's unusual. So historically, I don't know how it works now because I'm not following this as much as you are. And we haven't been following as much as we used to when we worked with a travel partner. But how it used to go is Disney would look at the projections a couple months out and be like, oh, bookings are light. Let's do a free dining plan. And usually it was during the off season, like, oh, you go the middle of February, you're going to get the dining plan. You go the beginning of September when everybody's going back to school, you're going to get the dining plan. That's when they did it. You didn't get the dining plan normally around the holidays or anything busy. July would be unheard of, I think.
It's from my understanding, it's like June through the beginning of September, or at least July, August, and the beginning of September.
So summer. So that's peak
that's why I
season.
said summer.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. And look, this kind of goes back to what they're saying here. They said about the economic downturn. I think a lot of people went to Disney because of, I think there was pent up demand. I think because people have been locked in their houses for 2 years, they took their Disney trip or they deferred their Disney trip.
They got the money. People are calling their
stimmy money.
They were calling it their Disney money. People call their income tax return their Disney money.
Yeah, and I think it's starting to run out. I think people took their trip and now they took their trip and they hadn't taken the trip in a couple of years and they're like, man, Disney kind of sucks now compared to what it was the last time I went. And if you only go like every 5 or 6 years or whatever, you're going to be like, yeah, I went 5 or 6 years ago. It was great. It didn't cost a lot. Now I got like Genie Plus and all this other crap.
I agree with this right here, though. This I think is perfect. Once Disney loses the favor of families who can't afford to go because of a recession and everything else, it'll be left with customers who can afford luxury products, but will judge Disney accordingly when it falls short. So you're charging people this ridiculous, okay, Galaxy's Edge or the Galactic Star Cruiser. Perfect example. You're charging people this deluxe, was it like $6,000, price tag, and that's starting. I mean, it's $4,500 to $6,000 starting price. That other rooms go for more. You're charging them for this, and basically what it equates to is some dining, a couple, interactive characters, a lightsaber show, and you get to go to Galaxy's Edge in a box truck. I mean, it's not exactly like, oh my God, it's just the best, most prime ever.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You chase the whales. They are used to primo experiences.
Why go to there when they can go to Europe?
Yeah, you got actual Europe for what you pay.
You can go on Disney Cruise Line for probably less than here, and you get to go to other countries. And I think Disney Cruise Line might arguably be better in some ways for like people with money that don't want to deal with the riffraff, than other things.
The riffraff. Okay, this is damning. This is coming from a well-regarded travel blog. Don't get me wrong, Disney can do a lot of things very well. It's just that those things are getting much smaller, and they're increasingly not worth the price you pay.
Yes.
With scanty capital investment, a frustrating park experience, uninspired storytelling.
But they're known for their storytelling. Just ask them. They took every investor call.
Disney may soon find out it no longer measures up to its own legend. And once that happens, it will become just another empty status symbol. Older generations may mourn what the brand used to represent, but younger ones who don't know any different will accept the shadow as the genuine article.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what we're seeing right now. That's why I think we get these younger Disney stans attacking old heads like us who remember what Disney used to be and used to be about and used to be like. And, people say we hate Disney. And I put a picture up on Twitter. I'm like, here's our Disney office. Like, we've got all this classic Disney stuff. And we're always going to have good memories of what Disney used to be. Well, likewise, we'll always have good memories of what Star Wars used to be. You know, but current year Disney is not the same company it was.
I'm not going to lie to people and tell them it is either. Now, could they course correct somewhat and do better? Yes, that's what we're hoping about. We're hoping for. That's why we call this out. That's why I'm sure these people call it out. They just want Disney to do better. Like, it's not, I mean, it is hard because they don't have money because they overextend themselves with the streaming and all that. But they need to, if they want customers to come back, they need to provide quality over quantity when it comes to streaming.
Yes.
They need to provide a much better experience at the parks than what we're getting. The prices need to come down. They need to get rid of the park pass reservation system because that thing's a cluster of epic proportions. I mean, they're not going to go back to fast pass and stuff because they'll lose money because they set themselves up. But what they need to do is find a way to make more people happy for a reasonable amount of money. It can be a little bit more, but you better get what you pay for, and you're not.
Yeah, this is damning. Yeah, once Disney's iconic above and beyond product is being substituted by a factory-made imitation.
Right, the Disney difference now stands for something completely different than what it was 10 years ago.
They're exploiting Walt Disney's values for marketing purposes far more often than it actually embodies them.
I agree. Everything we've been saying.
This is coming from Fromers.
To all you haters, this is the end of the video. Fuckity fuck you.
We're gonna wrap it up.
And then fuck you again.
Whoa, that's probably more fun than you'll have at a Disney park these days.
It is.
Yeah.
It's cheaper too.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.